agenda is the authorization of payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills.
Ed seconds. Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Next up after that is privilege of the floor. I see Fred's on. Fred, you got anything for us today?
I do. I've tentatively sent up June 2nd. It's our next board meeting next week. If anybody from the village can attend to talk about the senior center with Liz Haskins. Been very difficult to try to get both boards together. So
yeah, I will put it in my calendar right now. I can be there.
I figured it'd start at 6 o'clock, which is a half an hour early. I think this is going to take at least 45 minutes to an hour, and I've got quite a lot after that. So,
okay.
And the other thing is I will be interviewing for town clerks this week. I think the board will proceed with trying to hire 2 part-time clerks. We have taken the payroll and the bookkeeping, and we've contracted that out. We're paying all our bills online, and I think with 2 part-time clerks, they'll be able to cover each other's duties and still provide all the services that the town needs. So, and I know that Mr. Williams has been in contact with the Legion regarding the parade. So I don't know how many board members are going to be in the parade, but I think that Mr. Ferris is going to be giving some of us a ride. I hadn't talked to you previously, so last couple of years we've had a big wagon for us to be on. So I don't know what your plans are.
We didn't have, I don't
Mr.
think we
Mayor?
had any plans. So, you know, if you have the wagon, we'll ride the wagon. If you don't have the wagon, we'll figure something out. We'll Ed'll have his hot rod done. We can all pile in there.
Maybe in a couple of years.
We can always, I have the cap off my truck. We could always put people in the back of my truck too.
Yeah, so far, we're just waiting to hear from Tim.
All right.
We've
Well,
got 3.
we'll get that work. We'll work that out before next Monday.
Sounds good. And I would, of course, encourage all of the village board members to attend that meeting on the 2nd about the senior center, because we're going to need to make some decisions. What else you got, Fred?
Hal,
Uh-huh.
the senior center, that day, just so you know, that's our fire department insurance meeting at 6:30. Do you want me to see if he can move it to 7? It's in the same building.
6:30 at night is that meeting?
Yep, it had to be at night. I have some of the volunteers, the president and the chief who work, so that's why it's at night. Do you want me to change it June 2nd? Do you want me to see if he can come at 7 instead of 6:30? We were upstairs.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Do you want me to change mine to 5:30, Hal?
No, I think 6 is fine. Fred, did Amanda Barber contact you from Soil and Water about replacing the Aquifer signs?
She did. I went and looked at some of the signs today, and I have it on my agenda for next Wednesday night. The signs that are pointing north still look pretty good. The signs pointing south that get all the sun look like a white sheet of paper. So
I think she was looking for maybe the town and the village to split the cost replacing the signs within the town and village. So if you want to, we're going to talk about it tonight. And then if you want to talk to your board about it next week, we can figure out what we want to do.
Okay. I will have that, well, it's already on the agenda, so
Okay,
we will proceed with that.
sounds good.
I know that it was brought up at our last board meeting to at least get something decided on the balcony and how to move forward. And the board decided that we were going to wait until the issue with the senior center is resolved before we make
Right.
concrete plans for the balcony.
That makes sense.
So the village signs look very nice, by the way.
I think they came out great and our guys did a great job putting them up. So yeah, we have a few more to do. We've got to secure some property on 281, or at least easements or whatever. So we'll work on that.
I know 2 weeks ago I couldn't join because my computer was bothering.
Yeah.
And tonight your face is froze most of the time. So I have to assume it's still my computer.
Mine is froze because I'm actually just sitting very still. So maybe it is frozen, maybe it's not.
Well, you can't talk with your mouth shut, Hal. So I think the
You never
screen's
know,
froze some of the
right?
time.
I'm a politician, so
So I send it in for repairs tomorrow. So I
Okay.
do think I have something on my end,
okay.
but I'd certainly be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Fred? No. Thanks, Fred. I appreciate it. And we'll figure out what we're going to do for the parade.
All right.
All right, I have a resident, Mr. Wilcox, who would also like to address the board at this time.
Sure.
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. My name's Gary Wilcox. I live on Bell Drive in Cortland. I have a very small piece of property that is classified in the village of Homer. It's approximately 64 feet by 129 feet. My taxes started out about $4 to $5. 2005, I got assessed with the water tower up over about $7. And then this year I got assessed with the water tank, $9.62. So since 2005, my taxes have gone up more than 4 times. There's no way, I'm near any sort of use of the water or use of the sewer. I don't even know what I can get by paying my taxes to Homer. It just, these assessments just, it doesn't seem to compare to the taxes that I'm paying on this little piece of land. I did try to get this land incorporated into Cortlandville a few years ago. But unfortunately, the lawyer for Cortlandville forgot about it, and a new lawyer or a new mayor came on board and would not approve it, as the first mayor that I approached did. So I guess my question is basically, with these assessments, I've talked to other people that live in Homer and asked them what their assessments are, and they don't seem to be much higher than mine, even though they have a home and a large partial of land that they live on. So I kind of question how the assessments are figured.
So
and how long am I going to be paying these things?
You're saying that you've talked to other people in Homer and they're paying only $9 a year for their
Well, no.
village
Okay.
taxes?
For example, this person lives in probably a 2-3 bedroom home in the village. My water is 782, his is 1565. My sewer is 962 and he pays 1925.
So you do not have village water at all?
Oh, no, I'm not close to anything. There's no way. I'm not close to any of that.
Buzz, there's no water or sewer anywhere near Bell Drive?
Well, for Cortlandville, there is.
Well, right, but no village water or sewer
Oh,
anywhere
no.
near Bell Drive.
Nope. No.
Just for clarification, I do
Oh, you're
believe it's
muted,
Andy.
Buzz.
So,
So these have been the same for allocation since the water tank started. And it's the same exact formula, but the amount is totally based on the amount due that year. So that's the amount that's allocated. It's based on owning what the Cortland County real property considers a unit, which is one tax ID. So a tax ID pays the same amount. If the tax ID is broken up into 2 or 3, then you divide that by 3. But the amount changes solely based on the bond for the year and the payment, and that's the only difference. Like I said, it's been the same since it opened. I understand the amount changes every year, but that's how it's allocated.
Dan, did you have something that you were going to say?
yeah, I think Sandy cleared it up. I just want to say this is not a user fee. This is just the tax for the bond that everyone shares throughout the village.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think we have to look on a map. I don't know.
recommend that we study this, offline and talk about it. It's, we're talking diddly here, but then
Yeah.
again,
You're right.
I gotta make sure we're not doing
I have
anything
no
wrong
problem
to the other
paying that
villages.
amount.
and what
It's
have you.
just all of a sudden, to me, like I thought it was ridiculous for this little piece of land that all the paperwork that has to be generated and paying the taxes on it. That's why I tried to incorporate it into my Cortlandville taxes. And now these other things are just showing up on here that, granted, yes, I can't use it, and I still don't understand how the rates are figured out, but I don't know. It just somehow doesn't really seem fair to me. So, yes, if I lived in Cortland or in the village of Homer and, I had use of them, absolutely, I have no problem. But for a little piece of land that's landlocked around Cortlandville,
Yeah, I think we'll have to take a look at that. I mean, we're not, I can't tell you one way or the other without looking at a map and all that, but certainly we'll look at it and see if we can do let you annex back into the town, and you basically waive, ever having any services from the village, but that's no problem.
what do you mean I waived?
Well, once you would do that, if somehow,
Oh, okay.
The water, because we do service water and sewer out near Bell, very close to Bell Drive. And a lot of Cortlandville water is from Homer. So we just have to make sure that, it would never be an instance where you would, the water or sewer would have to go through the village again.
Right.
That's all.
So for the taxes that I do pay, is there any, what benefits do I get out of it?
For $9?
Well, it's now up to 22 compared to, it was under 5. Now it's over $22. That, granted, that's not a lot of money. I have no problem with that. It's just, I guess, the principle of it.
Right. And so that's sort of I understand that. We just have to make sure that if we let land leave the village, that someone doesn't come back and say, oh, but now the water line needs to, we need Homer water or whatever, because, it wouldn't be fair. So it just basically have to make sure that that's not ever going to happen.
Well, if there's, I have plenty of maps, and I don't know if I can give them to somebody to look at.
Yeah, you can give them to Dan, our clerk, Dan
Okay.
Agnor, and he'll, let us look at it. And like I said, it doesn't seem like a big issue to me, but we have to look at it first.
Okay.
You should have my
Before we
email
can-
now, Mr. Wilcox. Just send me all kinds of scans of the maps and things like that that you have, and maybe the tax ID in the area where it's at. And as everyone said, we'll take a look at it and see what we can do.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Sure, yeah. of
We'll
course, no
definitely
problem.
send you a letter and
Okay.
let you know.
Yeah,
I'm not going to blow you off.
no, we won't blow you off.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Good night.
Does anyone else wants to speak under privilege of the floor? Once, twice, thrice. All right. I see Taylor's on, so we're gonna go with back. We'll do old business real fast with the water and sewer project.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind if I share my screen one more time?
Share away.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, following up on last conversation we had with the board, we kind of fell back from, the larger improvement project of all the pump stations. We did want to just follow up for the board's benefit to kind of look at what we could do within the existing project budget, with the goal of maximizing that 25% WIA grant. So this second sentence here, just keep in mind that grant is that percentage, 25%, up to $430,000, whichever is less. So right now, where the project budget's at, we've expended about $800,000 roughly. So we're only using about $200,000 of that grant. So if you, spend another $900,000, that could get you 25% off, more or less. Again, maximizing that to the extra 230. So the balance, the difference between that is still that market rate financing that we talked about. We did meet with Buzz again, and I don't want to speak for Buzz, but based on that conversation, it's our understanding that the high priority work, if we wanted to try to utilize the remaining balance, we'd really look to do the control systems for all those pump stations and that corresponding electrical work first. Those are vintage control systems. Buzz, I think you're having trouble even finding parts, to try to keep those things up and running. So I think that's priority number one. And then priority number two would be replacing the submersible pumps themselves. This would be with the exception of Clinton Street, which Buzz and his crew did a great job rehabbing a couple of years ago. And then the main village pump station, which I kind of view as its own separate animal. It's very large, completely different than all these other small stations. So of course, what does that come down to for, taxes, as we were just talking about? Just a couple of quick columns here on the left-hand side, the current project, based on the $800,000 we've already spent, that equals a cost per EDU on that loan balance of about $20 per year per unit. If we were to add in the remaining $900,000, maximizing our grant, of course, we still have to finance that balance. That would basically double that user cost, bring us up to about $40 per year in that capital debt to pay this back. So that's kind of the decision point for the board. That's really the first next step here. I won't go into the numbers, but we do, just for the board's reference, have a more detailed estimate attached to that memo in case the board had any detailed questions.
Are we looking for a decision tonight, or is this just information?
It does not have to be decided tonight. It could be, considered at a later date. The funding agency, they're going to want to know relatively soon if we're basically going to close the project out and go to a long-term loan, or if we're going to look to, extend the duration of the project. I would say within the next couple months is reasonable.
Okay, so we don't have to make a decision tonight, but soon.
Correct.
Can
Okay.
you send us that document, Taylor?
I've sent it out before.
Absolutely.
I have it done, Taylor. I sent it
did
out
you?
before. Yep, I
Okay.
sent it before. I'll send it again.
Okay, thanks, Dan. All right,
Sure.
we got it. Yep. All right, yep, we'll have to noodle that one. We'll talk it over.
Understood.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate
This
it.
is a perfect work session kind of thing.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah,
right.
we've talked about the work session.
You're
and I'll just
invited.
throw out there, outside of this, we could look at, trying to repackage the project, resubmit it to the funding agencies. There's talk of more infrastructure stimulus, things like that. Try to position the project that way. Just keep in mind doing so, it takes time and effort, and, we're certainly getting back grant money if we go down that path.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to, so maybe we'll have a work session soon and go through all of it, and go through our options. It's a lot to consider. All right, any other questions for Taylor from the board?
That's good for me.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming. And like I said, we'll take a look at it. And when we do the work session, we'll let you know. And you can either Zoom in or come down or whatever.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right. Next old business item we have, which is Juneteenth Day. So the board's job was to listen to the community and see what they had to say about this. I'll throw out there what the idea that I came up with, or Pat and I came up with talking about it, which was, and I'm not sure which, and Tanya will have to tell me, we made, I don't know if it was President's Day or Columbus Day.
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day,
Pretty sure.
sort of a floating holiday that people could take either on Columbus Day or they could take it the day after Thanksgiving. And I think what my proposal would be is to make Juneteenth a day that they could take, so they can use that floating holiday on Columbus Day, on Juneteenth, or the day after Thanksgiving, whichever they want to do. And that way there's no additional cost to the village, but it does give the employees the flexibility to celebrate it, and also increases our recognition of Juneteenth as a holiday, which I think is important.
And the village can do some kind of special activity that day anyhow. So
Right.
I like it. I think that's a great solution.
I know we
Tim,
had it in the
Kevin?
paper. We had it in the paper for the Homer News. Did anybody get any other feedback on this?
I only got some negative stuff, which I won't share.
So Kevin, Tim, how's that sound as a compromise?
I was all for it to start.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin, thoughts?
I don't know, I think it's a good way to like cover up everything and make it happy to please everyone. Yeah, I'm not really sure I'm in favor of it, but I think, and I talked to Pat extensively on this, but it's the best way to, it's the best solution to make everybody happy and not cause a ruckus.
Right.
I still think there's a lot of education that needs to go out on this. is talking with Martin, talking with a whole lot of different people from a whole lot of different backgrounds. I think this is an opportunity to have the discussion and to move the discussion forward, especially when talking about the history of this. So I kind of like this idea of providing the opportunity, and it doesn't financially burden anybody on that.
Right, because I think Ed brought up the figure, it was like $11,000 if we gave him another paid holiday.
Right.
And then this cancels that out. But, a lot of people that I talked to didn't even know it existed or what it was about. So I
You
guess
have to read your
guess
Civil
this-
War history to know about it. I knew about it, but it's mostly a Southern activity. It just got into New York because of all the crap that's going on around the country lately. I mean, which is terrible. So yeah, it's been around, but it's never been up north.
as long as this doesn't cost the village any money, I'm okay with that proposal.
Yeah. Well, and I think, people are kind of now recognizing and understanding more and more that Columbus Day is he's not really a person to be celebrating. Although there's controversy there too, of course, but it doesn't seem like he was that great of a person. And so it allows us to take that, holiday, which does have a lot of negative connotations in a lot of people's minds, and use it on one that is more positive. So,
Well, none of those old explorers were very nice people. They were pretty rugged.
Does that include you?
Yeah, it probably would have been if I lived then. My father knew about it,
Yeah.
so any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
I had a question in terms of education. I know in the last meeting you guys discussed ways to make sure that education goes hand in hand with celebrating the holiday. Has there been any other conversation about how that education might come through?
Not yet. I mean, clearly we'll lean on our village historian, Martin Sweeney, because he did a fantastic job in our last meeting and giving us a historical perspective on the holiday. And so, and he has written an article on it for the Homer News. So I'm sure he'll continue to work on that. But we haven't really had a chance, to discuss what the educational component will be. But we'll probably do a happening in Homer about it, and maybe another thing in the Homer News, just talking about what the holiday is and why it's important that the village recognize it.
Okay, and in terms of, I know you also discussed finances, now that it's a floating holiday, would it still be considered a paid holiday, or would it just be optional, or are employees required to take it?
No, they have the one day that they can use for either Columbus Day, Juneteenth, or the day after Thanksgiving. So it's whatever they choose to use it on.
Okay, so it would be one day to represent those 3 days.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? Very good. Okay.
Do we need a motion to?
I think we probably
that
do. Yep.
I'll make that motion then. To make Juneteenth a floating holiday for the village employees.
Very good. All right. Ed seconds. All in favor?
Can I abstain?
Kevin abstains. Okay. All right. Next up, approve the budget adjustments.
I'll make the motion that we approve the adjustments as stated.
I'll second.
Go ahead,
Thanks. Second.
Pat.
See, we got all the basketball stuff ordered, the basketball hoops and stuff. That's exciting.
Yes, it is.
All right. So all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Next up, appoint Nick Card as DPW laborer substitute at $12.50 per hour as needed.
I'll make a
Sounds good
motion.
to me. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, Tim seconds,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, good. All right, so the Aquifer Signs, I kind of brought that up a little with Fred on because I wanted to talk to him about it, but you can go out and see what he's talking about, the ones that are unreadable. And so I think Amanda thought they'd be about $200 a piece or something like that. So if we split, if we just do the southern facing signs and split with the town, we'll have to figure out, but it, shouldn't be that much, maybe $1,000 or something like that. Well, maybe 500 on our end actually. So
That's
thoughts on
nothing.
this? I mean, I really,
Well, no, it is something, but it's
Yeah.
not that bad. And it really, kind of shows that we're environmentally on top of it. And
Yeah.
it goes along with our good looking signs. So I'm for it, even if it costs a little more, because I think it's important.
so how about a motion to approve an amount not to exceed $1,000 for the replacement of the Aquifer Signs?
Do we get any bonus points from anywhere for this or maybe?
Probably not.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. We need to get some more of the climate smart community signs made too.
I'll make a motion that we not exceed $2,500 on the signs.
Second.
Geez, Ed, Hal said 1,000.
Really?
You're
Yeah,
already
I
up in
think
it?
1,000 on
Wait
our
a
end.
minute.
All right. Do
So
we have a second?
vote it down and
I'll
bring out a
second.
new motion.
I make a motion that
Up
we go
to,
to 1,000.
you don't have to spend it, but
Up to 1,000.
I heard you.
All right. Let's get serious. Who's
Second, 1,000.
all right? All in favor?
Aye.
Ed, you in favor of up to
I want
1,000?
more, but I'll go with 1,000.
Tell you what, if we need more, we'll come back for more.
I know. I just didn't want to jerk around. Just they had enough, If it ended up being 500, so be it. So you at least you had the window.
Right.
That's all I was doing.
Okay. All right. Let's see what's next. All right, we got to review the demolition quotes for the. Oh wait, appoint Tammy Dowdle as recreation assistant.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Tammy Dowdle as recreation assistant.
Second.
Kevin seconds. All in favor?
Right.
Aye, unanimous. Very good.
Sorry, Tim, I got ahead of myself on that one.
That's all right.
All right, next up is to review the demolition quotes for the Route 11 projects.
I think that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
That's what
To
I
me, yeah, it's the Contento quote is
Much cheaper.
much cheaper. So
Dan, did we get any clarification on some of the questions?
Yes, we did. Got, it's in the packet there. And actually, Contento added some more extra information that needed to go with the RFP.
Okay.
But when you make the motion to accept, if you're going to, it's going to be contingent upon the Office of Parks accepting the new appraisals that should be in. So they can't start demoing until the park signs off on it. So they threw that at us, just within the last month. So some new appraisals are being done by Briggs, or updated appraisals, not new appraisals, updated appraisals. And once those are submitted and accepted, then we can proceed.
okay. So can we get a motion to accept the Contento bid contingent upon the appraisals?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, let's get these things torn down.
Right.
Very good. Next. Approve roads for CHIPS funding.
So Phil, are we all done? Are you all done on River Street?
Yeah, they just have two hookups, one on each end of the street. And I talked to Zach today actually. And he said that they're just having trouble, those guys scheduling a time to come in because they got a weld, I guess at the end of them or something. So they got to have special welders in there, so to hook the gas mains up.
Well, I hope they have special welders.
Yeah, me too, but
Jeez.
I'll qualify.
Sounds
I guess,
scary.
but yeah, he
So-
said hopefully here in the next week, it should be buttoned up, hopefully. They started Copeland Ave today, so.
Okay, 'cause I just want to make sure we don't pave and then have them come back through and,
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm keeping track of that. So,
yeah.
Good.
Yep.
So what do I see? We have money left over, or we have money that we've overspent?
no, I
There's
do
money
believe we have
left
money over.
over.
Yep.
Oh, there's money left over. All right. So
Yeah.
what do you want to do with it, Phil?
Well, some of it I'd like to, we used to take $5,000 and just do crack sealing in some of the roads. They help for long. We haven't crack sealed in probably 3 years.
Okay,
So
that's a good
that's
idea.
in my thing to do that. So,
But we've got in that already, we've got 7,000 for crack sealant.
oh, okay, I already put that in there then. Yep.
Yeah, so we still have 18,000.
Okay,
So Phil, just so you know, it's what we went over, but so
Yeah.
you probably don't have the paper in front of you. They're looking at River, Copeland, Pine, Meadow, Phelps, and 7,000 for crack sealant, leaving the 18,000 remaining at this point.
okay.
Sounds like you could do a couple more small roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could possibly do that little spur off Copeland that goes, it's like the other end of Cortlandt Street that goes into the Elks Club.
Yeah,
That is in horrible, horrible shape, but
There you go.
we just keep patching it.
yeah, that's probably not a bad. not
But,
probably-
oh, you know, equipment wise, we're good, but you can use that CHIPS money towards equipment too, so if needed be, so.
Well, this looks like at least a good start, especially how, depending upon how the season goes. If we get through all
Yeah.
this, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Let's approve this and the 18,000 come back later as you near and find overage, underages, and maybe you can think of some other places and come back to the board and we'll just say, you know, okay, great or not. So
okay.
I'm all for getting it started.
Yeah, there's always something to pave.
Yeah. All
I'll
right.
make a motion that we approve the roads for chip funding as written.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Very good. Next
Good
up,
job,
approve.
Phil.
Yes, thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Next up is to approve Toma development for CFA assistance not to exceed $15,000.
This is
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, this is for 3 applications to the CFA, or 3 hits for the Little White Church, CDBG, EPF, and something new, which the name is not correct, but I'll just call it the Net Zero Grant, which is about getting your facility to net zero as far as
Perfect.
emissions and usage. That may be a stretch for this facility, but they're going to help with the applications. They're going to do the grunt work on that. I will check the narratives. And of course, obviously we have a lot of background material, a Little White Church already, as far as drawings and assessments and everything else. And so that'll be part of the package as well. But yeah, we have some money in the tank already with them, but I'm expecting it to be well under 15, but I wanted to just make sure that we
Yeah.
had a nice ceiling to go to.
Yep. It's money well spent. All right. Do we have a motion? Oh, Ed, do you have something to ask?
I was hoping that we would turn in some kind of request for a river trail this year.
I think we're going to.
Well, isn't that part of the CFA?
It is, but that's a part that Keystone's working on us with. So they'll,
So we're
Well,
actually going to turn in a CFA for a river trail in.
yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay, I'm good.
Well, I'll make the motion for the CFA assistance not to exceed 15 grand for the citizens.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Good. And let's see. Finally, the proclamation of National Poppy Day. Also, they were hoping that someone could read this. I think that I think it's 12:45 on Friday. I unfortunately can't make it. I don't know if one of the other trustees can make it to the Legion to read the proclamation or not.
Uh, at the Legion or out in
Yeah.
front?
I'm a slim maybe. I should be back by that time, but I will know more tomorrow.
Okay.
I have to check my schedule.
Okay. All right. So you guys just let me know and I'll let her know.
I'll let you know.
All right. Dan, would you like to read the proclamation?
Well, I thought you'd never ask. Proclamation for National Poppy Day, May 28th, 2021. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle. Whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. Whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars. And whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower. Therefore, I, Hal McCabe, Mayor of the Village of Homer, New York, do hereby proclaim the 20th day of May 2021 as Poppy Day and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. And with this thereof, I hereto set my hand and cause this to be affixed, the official seal of the Village of Homer, New York, this 20th day of May 2021.
Very good. Motion.
I make the motion that we accept this proclamation.
I'll
Ed
second.
seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Good. Okay, and I think that concludes everything except for executive session, unless there are any comments from board members or additional questions from the media.
I have an update on the bus shelter. I talked with Mary today, and she is working through some issues with the federal side of it. So I've resubmitted the quotes to her, and she is moving forward.
Good. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got an issue with my flags. I talked to Dan to get permission from NYSEG to attach the flags to the poles. I guess they have some kind of an issue. They want to know the number of poles, the number of the pole, and there was some kind of an issue with the attachment. I don't know if you guys, the rest of you guys got that email or just me.
I think just you, Kevin. And yeah, you can't put anything on the pole. It has to be an attachment that goes around the pole. And we just need to garner the numbers of the poles between 90 and 41. And then it just has to go to their office and then they have to sign off on it. And they draw up a little agreement that the mayor and National Grid sign off on.
Yeah, we don't attach them. It's the same as downtown. It's just strap steel.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's all we have to explain. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
So
Good.
maybe I'll
I'm
get
glad that's moving along.
so
Not
maybe
my
I'll get with-
flags. I wanted to get it done by this weekend, but I'm going to shoot for the 4th of July. So.
You're gonna do flags with maybe a hook for flower pots?
I would be happy with the flags right now.
Oh, obviously, but
I saw the DPW's eyes out putting the flowers out today. They look great.
They
So
always
thank
do.
you to the DPW guys and thank you to the beautification committee.
Yep.
Yep,
just
everything
wanna-
looked great.
Well, Hal, I still haven't had any luck with a drone to fly over. You said you had somebody that might be able to help me out there.
Yeah, I will email him and see if I can get him to do it.
Ty's just dragging his feet and I don't even know if it exists. So I
Okay.
need to get it done.
Yep. I'll email my friend.
Thank you.
I have I saw that HPD posted the issue of the stolen car. And just again, a reminder to all our residents, lock your cars, don't leave the keys in there, lock your outbuildings. Chief, anything else you want to add on that?
I think you covered it, Patrick. Thank you. I just think we just get kind of complacent leaving our vehicles unlocked and keys in our vehicles. But we just got a quick reminder. It's unfortunate we have people out there looking to steal. So we got to take the extra precautions to avoid all that.
And then the last thing I had was, so Dan has a draft memo for the Little White Church Community Building
Yep.
Advisory Council. Consists of Center for the Arts, Landmark Society, and the Village, with an advisory council consisting of 2 members of the board, 1 member from the Center for the Arts, 1 member from the Landmark Society, and a member of at-large from the community, who would do some of the NUG work and then provide the recommendations to the board proper for us to make decisions on. I'd like to thank Dan for putting that together.
Yeah, thank
and we'll get that around to the trustees so you guys can take a look at it. But the sooner we can get an up on that, the sooner we can start getting signatures from those involved to make this official.
Maybe we're gonna have to do a capital campaign or something for that. Who knows? So it's good.
And I did talk to Mark Goddard today about the roof. He has no interest whatsoever in being involved with that roof. So we'll have to find somebody else.
Okay. That's the only thing I had on the items.
I did have a couple of questions about the demolition bid, maybe like 5 or 6, if that was okay.
Sure, of course.
Okay, cool. So I saw that they needed to be in by May 20th. I was curious, how many bids did you guys get?
Received 3.
Sorry, what was that? 3?
Sorry.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure that I had the spelling correct. You said it was the contenta, or what, that you were accepting?
Contento, well, all of a sudden I can't spell Jerry Contento's last name.
C-O-N-T.
Contento.
Okay, and is that an individual or is it a company?
It's a company based in Cortland.
Okay, and you would be paying them for the demolition?
It's part of the grant that we got for that linear park.
Okay, but it would be paying them for demolition?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Okay, and let me see. So you had 3. Okay, so do we have a date for demolition?
No, we have to wait for the updated appraisals to be done and for the parks to sign off on them before we can move forward.
Okay, and how much was the bid for compared to this one compared to some of the other ones that were?
So Contento's was 41,200.
Okay.
And then we got a bid from LCP Group in Vestal, and their bid was 70,000.
Okay.
And then we got a bid from Bellows Construction in Syracuse, and their bid was 137,767.
137,767.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other one, LCP Group, where were they located?
Out of Vestal.
Okay, so these are all New York companies.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Perfect. That's all that I had.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, can I throw something out here real quick?
Sure.
Referring back to Copeland Ave, they plan on closing. You could go up Cortland Street. They're gonna shut it down at Cortland Street to Park Street. So you can go down Cortland and go up Center to get around. But within the next 2 weeks, if whoever's listening, or whatever, if they could reroute themselves and not try to use Copeland Ave. Because this Friday, they're gonna be in front of the high school. They're gonna put that 200-foot piece in front of there because they don't have school. So they're gonna jump ahead so they can get across the bus garage.
Oh, it's smart. Yep.
So they won't have any conflicts with them. So
good. Good.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anything else? Anybody else?
Got one thing, Al.
Yes.
Probably just mentioned about the meters again. It's getting close to the 31st. So they want to call in.
Yes. Yep. If you have not called to at least tell us that you're going to have your meter replaced when we get the new meters in, you're going to be on the naughty list soon. And then I'm sure we'll have a lot of people's attention. They'll be calling and coming down to the village when they get that additional $50 fee. So, but try not to let that happen. Just call down and let Buzz know that, when we have the stuff, you're ready for us to come in and replace your meters, even if we schedule it out in June or July. It doesn't matter.
Phone calls a lot cheaper than $50, people.
Yes,
That's
it
for
is.
sure. Thanks, Hal.
Yep, no problem. All right, so we need to go into executive session to discuss staffing issue, or personnel issue, and to discuss litigation, ongoing litigation. We have a motion.
Make the motion, we move into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.